everyone, and welcome. My name is Erin Sugarman, and today we're going to do something a little bit different because fun fact about me is that I have been practicing yoga for about 20 years, and I am also a certified yoga instructor, but I never did anything with it. And I did a virtual yoga teacher and training program and just never ended up finding a home studio that I wanted to continue practicing or potentially teaching at after that time, since I really stuck to doing a home yoga practice. But I thought, why don't I share my yoga knowledge and teaching ability while also practicing at home by doing it on YouTube. And I watched so many other amazing yoga teachers like Adrienne Mischler and Yoga with Cassandra, whose last name is escaping me. I love Skytin Yoga. I practiced there a lot from 2018 to 2020, and I even did some volunteer work there as well. And I love watching the virtual classes that they offer and have done virtual memberships to their platform here and there. And that's just skimming the surface. I thought, why not also contribute to building a community through mindful movement? So that is what we are here to do today. I'm going to take us through a short mixture of a yin and vinyasa flow. So in yin yoga, you hold poses for longer and focus more on the depth and intensity of the stretch, while vinyasa is a more active practice. I'm very excited. Props wise, if you have a block and a pillow or a cushion or a bolster, that would be great. If you don't, you could always use a thick book or even just something like a couch cushion. I'm going to be using just a pillow you would sleep on, as you'll see, for my cushion / bolster prop. So we are going to get started in a comfortable seat, sitting with our hands just resting on our knees. And I'm going to invite you to either turn your palms up if you are needing some energy or inspiration or lightness. Turning your palms up allows you to be open to receiving, and turning your palms down and resting them on your lap will provide more of a sense of grounding. So choose whichever is feeling the most intuitively right to you today. Also, this is Maggie, my cat. She will probably be joining us, but I'm going to choose today to turn my palms downwards and just close your eyes. Relax your jaw and just come into stillness. Hopefully Maggie's not being too distracting. She's not really coming into stillness. But just take a nice deep breath in, let your belly rise, and a long breath out. Again, long breath in, and long breath out. And take the deepest breath you've taken all day. And then we're going to do a lion's breath on the exhale. So letting it go, kind of like letting everything melt like this. So inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale. and just breathe normally. Think of one word or phrase or idea that you want to hold during this practice. It could be anything, and I encourage you to not overthink what this one word is and to just hold on to whatever is first coming into your awareness. For me, it is going to be openness. Now let's, on our breath in, take our palms up to the sky and bring them down to heart center. Then let that go and bat your eyes open. Come back, reorient yourself to the space. And we're gonna do just some light stretches to begin. So we're gonna do some hip circles. So you're just gonna take your torso and your hips and just move them, undulate them around. We're gonna start in a clockwise motion. Do maybe 5 or 6 circles around and then go the other way. Maggie is really excited to be part of this video. A lot of times she does join me when I'm doing yoga, but usually not this persistently. So hopefully she's not too much of a distraction. Then come back to center and we're gonna do a side bend. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, take your right arm to the side and arc your left arm over. And make sure to turn and take your gaze up to the ceiling to get this full stretch through your neck. Back up and over to the left. Now inhale, back to center. And now we're going to do a gentle spinal twist. So we're gonna open our arms and take our right arm back behind us, followed, oh my gosh, Maggie, you're just really persistent. Take your right arm behind you, left arm to your opposite knee, and turn your gaze also to look over your shoulder. Should feel a nice, gentle rinsing, especially in your lower back, which for me always gets really tight. So this is a really great stretch. Now inhale back to center and exhale to the left. Inhale back through center and exhale arms to your sides. We're now going to move through a cat and cow, and I'm going to show you 2 variations. So the first is you can do just seated, and especially if you do have mobility challenges or disabilities, this is a great modification for cat and cow. So you're just going to, on the inhale, you're going to take your arms back and elbows bent, and you're going to look up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, you're going to round and fold and take your arms to the top of your kneecaps into a straight position. So inhale, look up, exhale, fold. And if you're going to do the traditional version, you will get on your hands and knees and make sure your knees and elbows are parallel. And then also palms should be underneath the shoulders. proper alignment is important. And then you're gonna look up, inhale, arch your back, exhale, round, and look down. So yogi's choice, whichever position you'd like to do, go ahead and either stay seated or go on to hands and knees. And we'll begin. Inhale. And exhale, round. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. And do 3 rounds on your own, using your breath as your natural cue. So for each person, it may look different. You may feel also a need to move faster or slower. You can do a very fast-paced cat and cow by going like this. I'll show you, and kind of pumping your breath. Or you can go incredibly slowly. It's really up to you and your body and your breath and how you're feeling today. Once you feel complete, you will go back to a neutral spine. And then we're going to do what's called a yogi toe lock. So we're going to go and sit onto our knees. And then we are going to fold our toes underneath and then kind of sit back onto our heels. I don't believe there's a great modification for this one. There may be, and I'm just not familiar with it. I'm sure there probably is. But this is a great way to stretch out through your toes, which absorbs so much stress and tension from walking or running, but often don't really get a good stretch. They get overlooked. And this is a great way to just get through all that tension and to stretch out your feet. All right, so then we're gonna come forward again, and we're just gonna flex our feet and tap out through our toes to release. This should feel really good. Good. Now we are going to come through to a Sphinx pose. So we're going to come forward onto our belly, and then we're going to take our forearms in line with our shoulders, palms flat on the floor. And if you know the great Sphinx in Egypt, this is, I believe, what this pose is named after. And I always think about that when I'm in this shape, because it really is the shape of the Sphinx. And then if you want to release through your neck, you can kind of look over each shoulder while you're in this position. But no need. You can also encourage you to look down and forward and get a nice stretch and release through the back of your neck. Should feel really, really good. Because we're doing kind of a yin and vinyasa based practice, we're going to stay here for a little bit. Come back to your one word intention. Ask yourself if you're embodying that right now, and if you're not, how you can work to embody that more in this moment. Beautiful. We're going to come back to neutral, and then we're just going to make a pillow for our head, and we're just going to windshield wiper our knees from left to right. It should feel really, really good for your lower back. Just kind of rinsing everything out. Good. Now we are going to press up to plank. And we're going to hold for a count of 10. So 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now press back to downward facing dog. You can also use a chair to put your arms on if you want or need to modify this. But keep a nice bend through your legs, especially on our first downward facing dog. You can pedal it out, wiggle your hips from side to side, lift a leg or a foot, whatever feels good. Then we're going to come back to stillness. And we're going to take our right leg and bring it all the way up and back. And then bring your knee to your nose and take your shin down so that it is parallel. And we're going to go into our pigeon pose, which I should have warned you to bring your cushion over. I apologize, but we're now going to take our cushion or pillow and we're going to slide it underneath our hip. So ideally our hips are both going to be square facing the front of the room, but this is a very difficult pose if you have tight hips especially, but the pillow can allow you to have proper alignment while also getting a deeper stretch still. So find your edge, don't go past it, and simply look forward, inhale, exhale, round and fold. You can come down to your forearms, you can use a block, you can stay sitting up if that feels more comfortable. Wherever you are, we're going to hold for 5 breaths. I'm having a little bit of trouble deciding. You can also, I think I'm going to readjust. I'm realizing this cushion isn't the best for me, so I think I'm actually going to not use the cushion, but again, your body is going to be different than mine. I'm actually going to use a block underneath my hip. And then I'm going to fold forward. You will also probably have one side that feels tighter than the other. And that's completely normal. In fact, it would be strange if both sides are exactly the same. You probably also will find it's easier to go all the way forward on one side versus another. For me, my left is my more flexible side. So this side is always more of a challenge than the right. I'm going to come back up and then simply take your hip down to the ground, and we're going to turn over to the left, take our right foot and put it on the inside of our thigh, and then we're going to flex our left foot, inhale, arms up, turn your torso towards your left leg, exhale, fold. And you may reach your foot, you may not. You might reach with both hands, you might not. And just make sure your torso should be over your leg in a straight line. And come back to your one word intention. Always come back to that. Whenever it's natural for your mind to wander during yoga, to think about other things, to run through your to-do list, but yoga is about presence, and presence is about bringing yourself back to the current moment, to your body. So it doesn't mean you need to chastise yourself for thinking about something you need to do in an hour, but it just means you notice, oh, I'm thinking about what I need to do in an hour and not about if my torso and my knee are in line. And you just bring your mind back, and it's all about the willingness and bringing yourself back, not beating yourself up, which is something I used to do a lot, especially when I was newer to practicing yoga and I didn't have as deep of a relationship to yoga itself, to my body. So we're going to come back up, and then we are going to go back to downward facing dog. We're going to rinse through and do one vinyasa. So inhale, plank, look forward, exhale, chaturanga, or baby cobra, upward facing dog, and back to downward facing dog. Now left leg, we'll inhale, rise, exhale, forward, and we're going to do pigeon on the second side. So as I said, this side for me is more open, so I actually don't feel the need to use my block on this side. Just make sure you're in proper alignment. And then when you're ready, you can fold forward or you can stay up. Yogi's choice. Honor your body and where you're at today. And also you can be in different places on different days. And I also want to say that going as deep as you can into the stretch doesn't mean you're better at yoga than someone else, or that you're cheating yourself if you don't go all the way into every pose. Because yoga is not about being the most flexible or having the most endurance. It's about being present. And it's about honoring and knowing and taking the time to listen to your body. And every body is different. And some people naturally are just more flexible, have more or different muscle tissues and fibers and compositions, and can more easily get into poses, and some people can't. And so it's an unfair comparison to compare yourself to anyone else, although we all do it. And a better frame of reference is to think about where you have been and where you are now, and if you're improving and growing, and finding your ceiling, and also working to push past that. Now we're going to go back onto our hip. I'm going to turn to face you, and we're going to do our fold on the second side. So inhale, arms up, turn, and exhale, fold. I also want to say that there's really no way to be better at yoga than someone else, because it isn't about achievement. It is about embodiment. So remember, you can even say that to yourself. It's not about achievement, it's about embodiment. And that is one aspect of home practice that I also really like, is that you're not comparing yourself to the people around you in the class, or looking at, where someone else is at, and either feeling bad that you're not, as flexible as they are, or feeling superior even to others if you're able to get further into a pose, or to hold your plank longer, or being able to do a headstand or crow pose if others around you cannot. Either end of the spectrum is coming from a place of judgment, and that is not in line with the values of yoga, because yoga is so much more than the physical practice. The physical practice is just one out of 8 different legs that yoga exists on. And it's all about mindfulness and mindfulness of body, and coming to a place of mindfulness through movement is a pillar, but there's so many others, which maybe we'll talk more about in future videos. Hopefully you're liking my little philosophizing and guidance. We're gonna come back up to center, and we're just going to come back to a comfortable seat. We're going to do a couple of neck circles. Go the other way. You're just going to come back to your breath. Close your eyes. If you'd like to lay on your back, feel free, or you can stay sitting up. Take one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Take a big breath in and sigh it out. One more time. Let it all go. Now inhale, take your arms up overhead and bring your palms first to your third eye and then to your heart center. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this short practice. I hope to do many more. I would love your feedback, your ideas. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you again soon.